Just so you know, I've had about legitimately 6 or 7 Klondike bars in just a dangerously short span of time. So I may pass out during this review at some point, probably a couple of times. If I'm out for a while, can you call somebody? Because I'm getting a little shaky here. So just keep that in mind. Just hook a brother up. Okay, Warcraft. Let's do it.
He fell asleep in New Jersey before the bombs hit the ground. Broadcasting from a bomb shelter, he is the nuclear clown.
You know, I'm at a point in my life where I visualize myself when it comes to entertainment and movies and things. Well, life in general, I guess. Really, now that I think about it, I am the quintessential prisoner of war in like an old Vietnam movie, right? And I'm in a tiger cage and I'm dirty and gross. Well, grosser and dirtier than I am now, which may be hard to believe. But I'm locked in there, and every now and again the Viet Cong come in and they shove sharpened bamboo reeds into my dick, and it used to hurt when they started doing that when I got captured 10 or 11 years ago, and it's not fun, but I've become that we're at that point in the movie where I don't scream, I don't cry, I just laugh. Right? I have that like demented, like, is that the best you can do? Like while they're just jamming the shit in up my dick. And that's how I am when I watch movies now. I sit down and I'm like, well, do your fucking worst. What do go ahead. Go ahead. Oh wow, that was shit. Oh man, that sucked. Didn't it? Well, on to the next one. Oh, that was horrible what I just saw. There's an ongoing theme in my reviews as of late, and it tends to be less outrage and more kind of like, well, it sucked, and what are you gonna do? But I knew it was gonna suck going in, and it sucked, but it didn't suck as bad as I thought it was gonna suck, or as bad as I think everybody's making it out to be. It still sucked. Don't get me like that's where we're at now. It's not like the positive review was like, well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, and that's not how things are supposed to be. I mean, sure, yeah, they come to snuff the rooster. He ain't gonna die and all that, but I used to enjoy going to movies. I used to like watching movies. But now it's like I'm daring them. I'm like Rocky. In what Rocky movie was it? Oh yeah, all of them, where he's just getting his face bashed in and he's just like, come on, come on. His hands are just down. He's tying his shoes and he's just getting brain damage and his face is getting mashed in his head. He's like, come on, come on, come on, come on. And he's getting dumber and dumber and fatter and balder, but he keeps going. Right? My spoiler-free review of Warcraft is, what the fuck do you want me to tell you? Did you think it was going to be good? Did you click the little link there and say, well, wonder if this is going to be a positive review of Warcraft? You'd be wrong in that assumption, because Warcraft sucks. I don't need to tell you that, right? I know it, you know it, dogs know it. I love that movie, by the way. But it was bad. It was bad. It was real bad. And it was bad, and it was silly, and it was stupid. Duh. This video I'm doing right now is really less a review, and it's more me talking about the current. I don't even want to say state of the movie industry, because that sounds too like formal. I guess I'm not that good at this. So This is just me talking about shit, about nonsense. It's just us. It's just the two of us, right? It's just Mom. It's just you and I. Just that's it. Nobody else. Trust me. Warcraft, and I guess I can lump Warcraft in with a lot of movies as of late, remind me a lot of Jackie Chan movies. And what I'm gonna say may sound harsh, but so let me clarify. Let me preface all of this by saying that I like Jackie Chan. I think Jackie Chan just seems like a nice guy. If I was on the road and I was, obviously dual wielding Klondike bars, and I rear-ended him, in my shitty car, I can just see him being ultra nice about it. Like, just, get out and he'll be like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you all right?" And I'd be like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." But I wouldn't admit I was wrong. Because you never admit you're at fault in an accident, no matter what. Even with like Klondike chocolate all over my hands and my face, and video evidence of me texting with both hands with my eyes closed, you never admit you're at fault in an accident, kids. That's the life lesson you learned today from me. Never say it. You might be, you might think, but don't say it. My law teacher told me that. And he wears a tie. So, they take that to the bank, right? So anyway, I just picture him being ultra nice about it. He'd probably get out and ask me if I was okay, and be like, "Look, be careful. I'm not gonna call I'm not gonna call my insurance company or anything because the damage isn't that bad. Plus, you look like you've been drinking, and your parole officer, because I know you got one from the looks of you, probably wouldn't be too happy with you. So just go home, sleep it off, and be careful on the road." And I'd be like, "Man, Jackie Chan's a nice fucking guy, right?" But let me tell you, Jackie Chan movies are pretty terrible. At least the ones I've seen. And this is kind of what, I don't know, the equivalent is to Warcraft. Jackie Chan, I was almost going to say, obviously you know who Jackie Chan is, but I'm old, so maybe you don't. Jackie Chan is an actor, martial arts guy, and he does all his own stunts in his films. And his stunts in his films are pretty fucking scary and pretty crazy, right? And if you stay to the end of a Jackie Chan movie, a chore unto itself, while the credits are rolling, they'll show clips of him fucking up. He'll jump off a train and land on a rhino, but he'll fall off the rhino and be trampled by the rhino, and then a giraffe will come shit in his mouth, and then just a bunch of homeless people will come out and kick him in the face. And they'll drag him off to the morgue. Again and again and again. And you see him, like, he gets hit in the head with pinball machines, and he gets, like cars hit him in the back and shit like that. And he just gets brutalized, right? And it's beautiful to suffer for your art. I know, I suffer every day. And everything I do is art. I'm like the Joker in that respect. The original. Well, not the original Joker. There's, original, you can go way back. But the Jack Nicholson one, the good one. But anyway, he's killing himself. And that's cool to sacrifice that for your art, right? But these movies are shitty. These movies are bad. These movies are crappy. It's like the part in Ed Wood when Sarah Jessica Parker, I almost said Sarah Michelle Gellar. 3 names, Sarah in the first one. It's not a hard mistake to make. But anyway, when they're having like the rap party for Ed Wood's latest horrible movie, and she's looking around at everybody like, everybody, like, does nobody get that this is garbage? And she freaks out and she screams, "You're wasting your life making shit." And I want to just like have, hot cocoa with Jackie Chan and be like, "You're killing yourself for shit movies. So either stop killing yourself for shit movies or find people who make you better ones." And when I see giant CGI fest $102 million movies like Warcraft, where there's so much money and so much technology and so much time invested in shit. I feel like when I watch Jackie Chan, sure, they're not doing their own stunts in Warcraft, and Jackie Chan's not doing CGI and spending $10 billion on his movies, but that's how I feel. It's like, we can do better than this, right? My spoiler-free review of Warcraft, did I say that already? I forgot. To be honest with you, I recorded like 7 minutes of this video and then realized I had the wrong mic input. So I had to re-record it. So I'm kind of in a bad mood. I was like 7 minutes in, but still, it sucks. I'm still upset about that. But anyway, see, what I'm recording now sucks, but those 7 minutes were gold. I mean, they were great, trust me. We're talking like Richard Pryor level shit. I mean, it was awesome. But this is like take two, sloppy seconds, if you will. Warcraft sucks. It sucks. And if you want to sit here and talk plot and talk characters, you come to the wrong world because I should be playing World of Warcraft right now, not talking about the movie. And I guess I should clarify some stuff here, maybe. We're gonna spoil, like, spoiler-free review is done. We're gonna spoil a whole bunch of stuff now. Making a Warcraft movie is a terrible idea for a bunch of different reasons. The story of Warcraft has progressed over several video games and a whole lot of years. So you have 10 billion characters in this universe, right? Unless you're planning on making a series of films, and by series I'm talking Harry Potter, like a 6 or 7 movie thing here. And from like reviews of this first one, I kind of don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there'll be a second one, if that makes sense. But who knows? I mean, terrible things. There was a second World War, so yeah, I guess it could always be worse. But anyway. Finding a good starting point is what I'm saying, because the history of Warcraft takes place over a pretty broad timeline, and characters come and go, and there's a lot in there. And I wasn't expect them to cram everything into this film, like the Lich King and Arthas's whole story and all that stuff, and Anduin Wrynn and all that shit, all that stuff, and Sylvanas and all the Warcraft garbage that we know and love, right? A lot of stuff to take in, and fitting that into a 2-hour movie is, suicide. It's like eating, I don't know, 6 or 7 Klondike bars in an hour. It's just, you want out at that point. So they chose to start this whole story literally, and it's supposed to be called like Warcraft the Beginning, though I've never ever seen that. I've read people saying that it's called Warcraft the Beginning. I've never seen a poster where it says Warcraft the Beginning. I've never heard that. I've only heard other people call it Warcraft the Beginning. I've never seen proof, is what I'm saying. Anyway, so the story literally takes place with the orcs building their portal, leaving their funky world of Draenor and coming into Azeroth. And humans and orcs fight. It's Warcraft Part 1, the video game, the movie, I guess. And I thought that was pretty interesting, because if you're going to tell the story from the beginning like that, I'm assuming they have a series planned. And if they do have a series, it's going to be a long series, because they got a lot to get into. If you play World of Warcraft, you're not going to... I mean, Khadgar, who Khadgar is and stuff like that. But it's different than you might expect from the game. I was a little, I don't know, not mad, not shocked really, but I didn't see any gnomes. Were there gnomes? Like, I saw there were dwarves for like 2 seconds. There were highborn elves for like 2 seconds, maybe. And no Tauren or anything like that. I mean, I was kind of, I don't know, I was kind of looking forward to the rich, vibrant, vibrancy of the races and stuff involved. But then again, as I said, they're trying to do a lot and in one film and introduce kind of a lot of shit. So I wasn't really that pissed about it. But I guess what I'm saying is there's much more interesting times and much more interesting things going on in the Warcraft universe than this. You know what I mean? When I think Warcraft movie, I think, I want to see a fucking troll. I want to see Tauren. I want to see undead. The Forsaken. I want to see that shit. But this is literally orcs versus humans, with a very, very light sprinkling of like a dwarf and a gun every now and again. And it's just boring. It's like, oh, really? The thing that I like about World of Warcraft is, for the most part, I mean, there's shit. Pandas and, werewolves, and it's like, ugh, it's a bit much for the old man now. But, there's a lot of Warcraft that I really like and that I really enjoy, just as a setting. And to start literally from the first game had me thinking, well, how many movies do we have to make to get to the fun shit? Like, I want to see a gnome, I want to see a troll, I want, like, can't we just... You could have told this story over the beginning credits. Right? To escape their shattered homeworld, the orcs of Draenor built a portal and followed Gul'dan and his evil sorcery. Okay, done. Like, we're done. We don't need to act out, Genesis in the Old Testament. Like, just give me the bullet points, right? Snake, garden, gotcha. Okay, fine. Let's get to the flood. Let's get to the good shit. And Warcraft, the beginning, I just think that's a bad move. I mean, it's not fun. It's not fun. Oh, look, a bunch of humans. And just a ridiculous looking half-orc. I mean, come on. Like, all right, if you want to get into specifics and nitpicks and stuff, I thought the orcs were way too huge. They were enormous. I don't know why it took me so long to get out that age. I was like, huge. Probably the several pounds of Klondike bars turning into sludge coursing through my cold, icy veins. Icy veins. Warcraft reference. But, the orcs were enormous. They were gigantic. They were so big, and orcs are bigger than humans, obviously, but if in the game, if you put them next to each other, yeah, they're bigger, but they're not ridiculously bigger. And in this movie, they were ridiculously bigger. They were so huge that you think there's no way a human is going to hurt this thing, let alone kill it. But that's all they do. One human with a sword just like mowing through a bunch, some orcs and stuff. It just looks silly. They're way too big and they're way too enormous. The CGI in this movie, look, I'm not opposed to CGI to a certain point. There is a way it can be done to enhance a film. And when we're talking about fantasy films, obviously it has to be used. My problem is when you end up with a Who Framed Roger Rabbit film where there's a guy surrounded by bullshit. That Nick Arcade feel. And you get that with Warcraft. And if they're going to do that, see, this is what I don't get. If you've played Warcraft before, and if you're watching this review, chances are you have. If you've played World of Warcraft before, you know how awesome the Blizzard opening cinematic scenes for the games are, right? If you haven't seen them, go search any, World of Warcraft cinematic scene. They're awesome, except Mists of Pandaria. It's gay. Don't even bother. Just trust me. Skip that part. Just don't look at that part. Cover it with your hands. I don't understand why they didn't just do this whole fucking movie in CGI. Make it like if the World of War I'm sorry, I keep saying World of Warcraft movie, but it's not. It's Warcraft movie. If the Warcraft movie was all CGI and they just went to the people who make their little 2-minute cinematics and said, "Here's $100 million, make us a whole movie. Give us 2 hours of this." And have a story and all that shit. You can even get famous people to do the voiceovers or whatever the fuck's your pleasure. Does anybody remember the movie Beowulf that came out? It's kind of been out for a while now, I guess. I was going to say it didn't come out that long ago, but again, I'm old. And time just is so unkind and moves so fast. But Beowulf was a complete CGI film. It was like a Toy Story, right? And they took Angelina Jolie and they just made I don't know how they did this, or they just did the CGI over her face or whatever the fuck. But they had real actors who these characters were based off of, but the whole movie was CGI, right? So nothing was out of place. But when you have Dave, when you have me, and then there's, a Tauren behind me massaging my back, it looks retarded because things don't exist, right? So I don't see why they don't just cut out the element that looks weird, mankind, and do it all in CGI. And just have a 2-hour thing that's like the cinematic scenes in the openings of any of their games. I think that would have been fine. It would have been 10 billion times better. And it would not have looked nearly as stupid. And, when I'm watching this movie, and a lot of movies lately, I sit there like a Vulcan. I don't get mad, I don't get sad, and I'm certainly not entertained. But I sit there and I just observe. And I say, that scene right there must have cost so much money and taken so much time. And it's crap. It's complete and utter crap. I so get that. Like, I hear that in my head, in my dreams, when I think of movies as of late. And what a waste it all is. It's like, wow, think of how many starving kids could have been given, Hummers. The car, you sick shit. God, you're disgusting for even thinking that. The money and the time and the effort, because the people work hard. They're doing their best. It's not their fault that it's stupid that they have a guy in a mocap suit and these computer people are supposed to somehow make this look right. I think they should have done that with the new Star Wars movies, right? If you want to use why did I say Han? If you want to use Han and I don't know. If you want to use Han Solo, if you want to use Luke Skywalker, if you want to use Princess Leia while they're still alive, okay, CGI the whole fucking shit. You may as well. Right? Do the same thing. Have young Han Solo with Han Solo's voice. Have young Princess Leia with Leia's voice. Instead, we got a reboot with old people. But okay, whatever. I'm not going to get into Star Wars. We're here to talk about Warcraft and the death of cinema in general. I guess I should talk about the movie because I want to go. Okay, so let's just get through this. I can get back to my Klondike bars and okay. Warcraft has a lot of actors in it that just do not stand out. The King Lane, just a guy, just your uncle's friend who's in a band. medieval times. Just a guy, just a hippie dude, long hair and beard. Jesus Christ kind of looking a little bit. And that's it. No big deal. There's nothing mystical about him. There's nothing like, oh, that guy's pretty interesting looking. Nope, nothing. Just a guy. I think the main guy, Lothar, him I didn't have a problem with. He looked like he belongs there. You know what I mean? He has I don't know who this actor was. He looked familiar and he sounded familiar. His voice, there's something very unique about his voice. I don't know. I'm probably gonna feel like an idiot I feel like an idiot all the time. But when I look this up, it's probably gonna be somebody I know, and I'm gonna say, oh, time to go to sleep. But I liked him. I thought it's like, okay, you can stay. You're not the problem, even though there's a lot of problems in this. And I think that does it for the humans. There was the half orc, the girl in the green Orion paint with the, two pieces of chalk coming out of the sides of her mouth. Whatever. Her acting was, oh boy. But I mean, so many of the people in this, the queen and all that, just forgettable fucking people. The acting is another amateur hour thing. It makes, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie I saw look like The Godfather in the acting department there. It's just amazing to me that so much money was spent on that. There you go. Gul'dan is like the main bad guy. The orc bad guy who poisons the orcs with his demonic magic and leads them into Azeroth. I always really liked Gul'dan and thought Gul'dan was really, really quite cool. He's my boy, right? He's an orc warlock. One of my characters in World of Warcraft, one of my level 100 guys is an orc warlock. We're buds. We're the same profession. You know what I'm saying? I always liked Gul'dan. In this film, I don't know why they felt obligated to do this, but at one point in the quote unquote climax ? They have Durotan and Gul'dan go hand to hand. And they're fist fighting, right? So Gul'dan, he takes off his robe and he's all ripped up and shredded and stuff. And I know Gul'dan's an orc and is supposed to be big and stuff, but he always came across to me as a little scrawny, hunched over. I don't know. I just don't see him in Fight Club. But apparently I was wrong. Because he went out there and was throwing down with Durotan, and that was real stupid, and that just bothered me. I mean, you'd think if anything, all the fell magic and warlock shit would just have withered him down. So he's like, a little whatever, and he's like, I'm not gonna fucking fight you. I'll summon a demon, and my demon will fight you. Fuck that shit. But no, he's out there slugging it out, putting him in headlocks and body slams and whatever. The armor... Okay. I suppose somewhere I should say that your heart is in the right place trying to faithfully depict the look of, what you're doing. A Warcraft movie... I'm going to say something nice. If you watch this movie, it feels and looks like Warcraft. The armor is big and cartoonishly silly, and the shoulder pads are just laughably enormous. You watch it and you go, yeah, this is genuine from the source, I guess. But that's not always good. right? If you're making a movie, again, that wouldn't be a problem if it was all CGI, but it's not, so it is. When you have a normal guy, when you have Dave in a Stormwind outfit with the big giant shoulder pads, and it's supposed to not be funny, there's a problem there, right? There's a way you can follow the source material, but you have to be conscious of, I think anyway, that we're dealing with reality here. And some things you cannot directly translate because they'll look ridiculous, like the Warcraft movie. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. I guess the whole baby. No, wait. Jesus wasn't put in a. I almost said a box. Jesus wasn't. Who's the Bible character that was put the baby who was put in like a raft and went down a river and was raised by? It was Superman. I'm sorry. Yeah, the whole Thrall thing where he's a baby and he's like roaring at people. Oh. What's there to say? There's nothing to say. I mean, Medivh goes bad, and it turns out he was the one who called the orcs and helped Gul'dan do it. But his kind of betrayal is never really explained. He just kind of does it. He's just like, oh, guess what, guys? I'm bad now. Sorry. And there's no you never. I mean, you see it coming because that's what happens in the actual story in the Warcraft story for the game. But in a movie, you can't just say, well, they're going to know and expect it, so I'm under no obligation to show it. Or to show why he does it, right? The why is lacking. And I believe he mentioned something about, like, that he was corrupted by the fell energies and stuff like that, and that's why he's doing it. But it's so lame. It's so pointlessly like, oh yeah, in the story he does it, so we have to have him do it in the movie. And there's no struggle. There's no remorse. There's no reason. It's just like, Gul'dan touched my butt, and now I'm bad. I'm sorry, guys. Like the writer had a checklist of stuff from the, he went and he played Warcraft 1 and said, okay, I have a checklist of what happens. Medivh goes bad. Check. Done. Handled it. Nailed it. Ha, handle it. Yeah. Another Warcraft reference. So, this movie, I didn't write anything down for this review, obviously, because there's nothing to write down. What do you say? Except, sorry. I'm sorry for this movie happening. Yeah, is it gonna be? It's interesting. Is it gonna be fun anytime soon? How many movies is it gonna take before, like, Dave gets his trolls and Tauren bashing each other's brains out? And how many? 4? Do I have to sit through 4 movies to get to that? I mean, I guess I will, because let's face it, I don't have anything better to do. But I sure don't like it. I sure don't like it. I sure won't like it.